Okay, so picture this. Your sworn enemy, wounded, probably dying, washes up right on your doorstep. Now, you're a doctor, and you've taken an oath to save lives. But you're also a citizen of a country at war, and you have a duty to protect it. So, what do you do? Well, that's the incredible, impossible choice at the very heart of Pearl S. Buck's story, The Enemy. And that really is the core question here, isn't it? On one hand, you have the doctor's oath, which says you have to save a life, any life. And on the other, you have a patriot's duty, which demands you defend your country from its enemies. What on earth happens when those two sacred duties crash right into each other? You see, this is way more than just a war story. It's a really gut-wrenching ethical puzzle. So let's dive in and unpack the impossible choice one man has to make when his enemy literally washes up on his shore. So our story kicks off on the coast of Japan during World War II. We're in the home of a very well-respected surgeon, a man who finds himself completely caught between two worlds. This is Dr. Sadao Hoki. He's a brilliant surgeon, a scientist, and he was actually educated in America where he met his wife, Hana. And here's the really crucial part. They're living in this isolated house on the Japanese coast, right in the middle of the war. Tensions with America are at an absolute fever pitch. And then, one night, the entire war crashes right into their quiet life. A figure is just thrown out of the ocean mist and onto the beach. He's white, he's badly wounded, and they realize pretty quickly he's an American prisoner of war, an enemy. The second they lay eyes on that American sailor, this huge conflict just ignites inside Dr. Sadao. It's like a battle between the two most fundamental parts of who he is. I mean, the choice could not be more black and white. Every bit of his medical training is screaming at him to save this man's life. But his loyalty to his country, his patriotism, is demanding he turn this enemy soldier over, which, of course, would mean certain death for him. This really breaks down the turmoil he's feeling, right? The doctor in him is bound by his oath. He can't help himself. He instinctively starts packing the wound with sea moss. But the patriot in him knows that helping this man means risking everything: arrest, disgrace, being called a traitor. And this quote from Sadao himself really says it all. If the guy were healthy, no problem, he'd hand him over. But because he's wounded, because he's helpless, that triggers something much deeper. That's the healer's instinct. It's a compulsion he just can't fight. The doctor wins. They carry the man into their home. But see, deciding to operate doesn't solve the problem at all. It just drags the entire conflict inside his house, and it creates this thick atmosphere of fear and even rebellion among his servants. The servants are absolutely horrified. The old gardener, for instance, thinks this is just a total defiance of destiny. The way he sees it, the sea tried to kill this man, the gun tried to kill him, nature has already made its decision. By stepping in, the master isn't just a traitor, he's asking for nature to strike back. Now for Yumi, the governess, the fear is much more practical. She's terrified for Sadao's children. I mean, if their father gets arrested and branded a traitor, what's going to happen to them? For her, this isn't about politics. It's about the very survival of the family she works for. And you can feel the strain is just starting to crack Hana, Sadao's wife. The servants have all left, and she feels totally alone. Her question here, wow, it reveals this terrifying new reality. Their one single act of compassion has turned them into outsiders in their own home and in their own country. So, just when the tension in the house feels like it's about to explode, Sadao gets summoned to the palace. He's thinking, this is it, they found out, it's over. But it turns out an old, sick general needs his help, and this forces Sadao to just confess everything. Now, you might think the general decides to help out of some sense of morality or compassion. Nope, not even close. It is pure, cold self-interest. He needs Sadao's skill as a surgeon to stay alive, so he absolutely cannot afford to have his best doctor arrested and executed. And his solution is, well, it's chillingly simple. He basically says, don't worry about a thing, I'll send my own private assassins over to your house. They'll kill the American quietly, get rid of the body, and poof, problem solved. It's a clean, pragmatic, and totally ruthless plan. So Sadao agrees. He thinks the whole messy business is finally out of his hands. But the general's official solution never actually happens, which forces Sadao to come up with a plan of his own. For 3 agonizing nights, Sadao just waits. The first night, he hears footsteps rustling outside, but in the morning, the American is still there. The second night, the wind is howling, but yep, he's still there. The third night, there's a crash in the garden. And still, the American is sleeping peacefully with no idea he's supposed to be a dead man. He finally just can't take it anymore. And the story is really clear about this. It's the unbearable psychological pressure that forces him to act, not some newfound love for his enemy. The waiting, the not knowing. It's even worse than the original dilemma was. So just look at the contrast with the general's plan. The general offered this passive, hands-off murder. Sadow's solution? It's active, it's detailed, and it's all about preserving life. He personally gets a boat ready, stocks it with supplies, and gives the young man a clear path to freedom. He is now actively engineering his enemy's escape. So in the end, the prisoner escapes, the servants come back, and life starts to feel a little more normal. Sato gets called back to see the general, who's doing just fine after his operation. And this is where we get the story's really haunting final thoughts. So what's Sadao's reward for going through all this? Well, he gets his life back. The general actually confesses that he just forgot. He was so wrapped up in his own health problems that sending the assassins completely slipped his mind. So Sadao is safe, not because of justice or morality, but because of pure, almost comical self-absorption. And this is the line that just sticks with you. Sadao is staring out at the ocean, remembering all the reasons he has to hate Americans, all the prejudice he feels, and yet he couldn't kill this one man. The story doesn't give us a simple answer. It just leaves us with Sadao's own profound, unanswered question. And it forces us to ask ourselves, when our own humanity is put to the ultimate test, what choices would we make?